the Crew Motorfest was released in 2023. It is essentially a sequel to 2018's The Crew 2. The IP sort of frames itself with air, land and sea, with vehicles. There's planes, there's boats, and loads of awesome cars. This is from Ubisoft. This is them throwing their hat in the ring for an open world. I'm going to go with arcade racer. I wouldn't say Burnout Paradise arcade, but it's certainly not GT7. I am Couch Coop, by the way, and I want to stay away from comparisons with this video game and Forza Horizon 5, and of course Need for Speed Unbound, both of which obey a very similar model, but there are differences with this game, and Motorfest friggin' surprised the hell out of me in certain places. I actually bought this game. It was on 85% discount digitally on the PlayStation Store recently, but it is also on Game Pass and runs damn well on a PC. I can vouch for that. The reason I'm staying away from comparisons on those aforementioned games is because I'm thinking of doing a three-way versus video, because Motorfest holds its own in certain areas. As with all modern Ubisoft material, I went in with sort of caution, expecting quite a lot of things that would annoy me. There are quite a few with this, first of which it being always online and having randoms flying around the track all the time, but they're actually ghost cars. They don't hit you, but you can never be 100% sure of that, so you end up swerving anyway. Think Patrick Swayze when he's on that subway in the film Ghost. No one is going to get that analogy. Some people will, okay? You might have noticed in the background there that that map, the overhead view, it kind of sinks right in real time in engine. It does look pretty cool, as does the intro to your new car that you may have won from a playlist. We'll get to all of it in a second. So you ain't just driving willy-nilly around that map selecting what sort of challenge you want next. You do these things called playlists, gives you a guest car. Some of them absolutely amazing, but the ones that you get to early are like introduction, let's tour the island. They are so padded. They don't include other cars. You'll be in something horrendous. You'll have to listen to someone talking to you. This is some interior, obviously defaulted to external for most of the video, but I wanted to switch round, have a little look at those other views. And we also had some footage of the challenges they lay in and around what is considered a massive map. It's kind of up there with Forza's. Need for Speeds isn't colossal, but again, I want to avoid too much of that comparison. And we have the inclusion of two-wheeled vehicles, both in races and for you to purchase.
Boss Hoynes, tell it. She's the goddess of the volcano.
I am terrified of music copyright strikes, so please forgive me if the in-game clips are relatively short. And I do want to mention, quality mode, loved it. Really thought that resolution was crisp. No screen tear, barely any frame drops. That one was a surprise considering how fast you go and how much detachable material there is around the track. I did have a look at the performance, graphics mode, but just didn't feel that jump warranted it. And I was thinking, if quality annoys me too much, I'll make the switch. Never made the switch. Same thing for Forza Horizon 5, and I think I probably had to go to performance over on Need for Speed Unbound. But again, I'm comparing. I've got to stop comparing. Some of the dissipation particles in this game are not terrible. Let's get on a boat, Coop. I want to get on a boat. Tell me what this is like. The only boat racing I've ever done is in a GTA game, and it had this sort of handbrake that you could get around the corners on. There is a bit of trim available on the shoulder buttons, but this is, not the most white knuckle of modes, but it's pretty damn cool to have it in there. But it adds something amazing to when you're riding around in the free mode map. We'll get to that in a second. And you get to look at all of this stuff sort of technically free of charge. You don't have to purchase a vehicle to enter something. That's one of of the joys of the playlist. Let's have that chat now. They are all themed. You saw the Japanese stuff there earlier, then it will push you to something like American Muscle, then you might have to do some drifting. There is even drag racing in this game, but most of it, the bread and butter, is just racing or time trialing. There isn't enough AI cars on track when you do some of these playlists, but they get better. Towards the end of this video, I've got some absolutely cracking footage and some beautiful cars. And yes, you did see me flip to the boat in real time when you're in that free roaming map, and that only gets better. I'll show you once the plane is unlocked. And talking of beautiful cars, this is like the public custom display lobbies. Quite weird. You can walk around. It's like the main stage area. You can see everybody's rides. It's quite a good idea to sort of have an idea, inspiration for what to aim for. And back to that playlist thing quickly, because it gives you such good guest cars to try out, get your head round, or even as a reward, I didn't feel obligated to spend loads of my money. There is a big purchase coming up, however, but I was just content with this rotation the playlists were giving me. You also get a free plane, and there is some pretty cool flying sections. The plane has actually got NOS. We're going to get to the NOS thing in a minute.
Honolulu in the light of the setting sun.
I probably should have opened with this clip. Yeah, you can change back to the car whilst you're a boat. Then you all of a sudden get presented this new section of Ireland, and the playlists themselves are getting hella more interesting. Gone are the tours, gone are the annoying, boring cars, hello amazing high-end machines, and loads of other AIs on track with you. Let's just talk about this NOS system very quickly. You can see it over there by the speedo on the left. It's got two sections to it. Essentially, I think, this is all I could fathom from it, is that the second section fills up quicker. So you've got to build up to that halfway mark, and then you get this sort of slightly quicker, refreshing NOS gauge. If you're using it as you get it and don't get past that mark, it's kind of inefficient, essentially. Now, depending on what car you're driving, depends on well it handles that injection of speed. So you need to really think about it. It's a bit more delicately implemented than it is in Need for Speed Unbound. And of course, Forza 5 doesn't have it at all. Stop with the comparison.
So blessed to be with you on this journey. I'm not saying goodbye.
Obviously that AI is using it all the time as well. You can hear it, them rocketing up behind you. So you have to be on your toes with when you're using it and be efficient with that two-stage system. The AI drivers are actually pretty relentless. They don't mind a bit of contact. The game suffers slightly from having difficulty notches that are quite vast, and I end up being between two of them, and it constantly asking me if I want to make it easier because I'm doing too well, or the opposite side of things where I'm getting thrashed all the time, and do I want to put it on an easier mode. But back to the point on the NOS, it really injects a massive amount of spice into the what would be considered quite mundane racing. The risk's amazing, it looks and sounds awesome, and just about every race mode or car or boat or plane will have it. So this footage here is the luxury playlist. I got to do this weird sort of tour around Europe, but it wasn't Europe, but the brands were, and there was a voiceover. It sounded a little bit like Alan Partridge, but I kind of loved this playlist.
This was very exciting.
Coop, can you come over here a second? Yep, sure. What is it? How can I help? What's going on? What are you doing? I'm reviewing a Ubisoft game, Motorfest. Yeah, but you're saying nice things about it. Okay, it came out in 2023. You know about that cut-off in 2018. There's going to be a snarky comment that you're taking money from Tencent or something like this. Bro, I'm trying to hate it. I'm trying. But look at this. So here's the bombshell. It's got a full-blown replay mode in it. What do you mean? Like, take a picture, move the camera around? Stills? No. the whole race is recorded and replayed back to you in action mode. You can choose the cameras, everything. But you need to use a workaround because you cannot go to the photo mode when you're in a challenge or race. You can only go to it in that free map mode. However, it backdates the footage. So as soon as you've come out of a big race and you think that must have looked awesome, just go to the photo mode, R3 to access that replay, and lo and behold, you've got some beautiful looking footage. 2023, I was kind of blown away at this. We're also getting a little museum tour with older models of cars presented to us, bit like the old Gran Turismos used to do with their campaign, and then it will morph in real time to the modern day version of a Bugatti. Man, again, mind blown second time.
This special moment with Bugatti was one of the highlights of my European tour, especially when you know which car they're going to bring next. La Voiture Noire, a direct tribute to that all-black Type 57 SC I just mentioned.
I think if I'd only given this game like 5 or 10 hours and not got to some of these upper echelons of playlist, I wouldn't be this over the moon with what I'm looking at. It really takes you around the houses with introductory, quite boring stuff. Then it just ups the ante incredibly. And of course, by this point, you've got enough money in the bank to buy yourself something meaty, which would be your go-to bread and butter car that you would have underneath all of this playlist material. I went with the McLaren. If you're not aware of how hell-bent I am on montages, please see my Far Cry 5 review PlayStation 5. You'll know that I'm going to be completely at home with coming up with something awesome using this in-game asset. This is why I want to bring the game back for that finale against the gargantuan Forza Horizon 5, which is about to be sequeled, and the cheeky Need for Speed Unbound. Something else that also haunted me, which may not have anything to do with this game whatsoever, but I use SharePlay to capture my PlayStation 5 gameplay. Loads of the files corrupted. When I went to extract the footage to put it onto a USB to get onto the PC, it was just like no, and it crashed SharePlay. I had to remove things, couldn't find out what was making the problem appear. I think it's some of those microtransactional screens or even a login screen that blocks the capture, but it doesn't quite talk to the machine properly, causing loads of problems when extracting footage. So just watch out for that one. Bro, you say that like people are still playing this game. I can't for the life of me remember any fuss made about this game in 2023 when it was launched. I do remember some controversy about the crew online and them cutting the servers, something like that. But I don't think this game was viewed as a skull and bones situation. I just think its competitors are damn strong. And Ubi being Ubi was just like, yeah, I'll totally excel in that vertical. And it turns out they actually have in some areas. It's one of the more fun open world arcadey races I've played in a while. Check out these Porsches. I also do need to consider that this game's entire design probably revolves around an online model, i.e. having your mates in, going into challenges as a group, doing playlists together and buggering around in that open world map, be it in a plane or a boat or a car. I can imagine that being pretty fun.
Nothing short of a superhero car.
And going to it looking for some single player satisfaction may be a bit of a long shot, but I was totally surprised at how much I found here and how much I didn't need to do on a compulsory online level. Whether this thing works or not without the internet's another kettle of fish. The fact that it cost me like 15 quid as well is probably a bonus. Physical, I have seen it on PS5, but it's back up to 60 quid on the store, which I do think is pretty damn steep for a game from 2023 that barely anybody bought. Oh my god, the Audi.
A true racing car.
Just back on the complaining front briefly, there isn't enough damage on the cars. I was thinking about Burnout Paradise, you see, and where that game excels on this model, and it is in that damage and amazing replay cam when you have that crash. There is also not enough weather rotation. It doesn't look horrendous in the wet, but you just don't see it enough. I think the reflections on track are absolutely stunning, and that's where Forza sort of excels. Quite a realistic weather model, even seasons, stop comparing. This replay, it put a bit of automatic saturation on the filter, made it look like a 90s TV advert. Didn't mind it, but it would have been nice to be asked. I am a kid in a sweet shop, and I am so happy with this video game, particularly because it's available on the subscription services. If my PC was working, I would obviously be delving deep into that version of it, but having it on PS5, that quality mode, it really is something else, and I haven't seen replays that pretty since our Holy Father Gran Turismo 7. That's getting on a bit, that game. Can we have some updates on what's going on? Polyphonic? Oh, I nearly forgot. The bike stuff. There's some superbikes, some actual proper full-faring amazing Japanese superbikes, and combined with that replay mechanic, I'm back in the sweet shop.
My next British stop was McLaren, with the most exclusive McLaren there is, the Elva.
So if you talk to anyone about myself or the channel, please don't mention that I like this game. I'd like to just keep that one between us. And if you're thinking about making the jump to it, look for a pre-owned copy. That's probably your best bet on the Sony side. It may go on PSN Extra at some point. I'll kick myself if it does, but you've got that Game Pass version already there and waiting. It's been on for a number of months now. Please keep your eyes peeled for that three-way comparison video that will be coming up shortly. Crimson Desert ships 4 days from the date of this video being made. Holy crap. That's either going to be the biggest, best open world South Korean video game of all time, or fall on its arse. Stellar Blade, Lies of P, The Last Berserker Kazan. If you know, you know. Todd Howard's going to have to go out and buy a new pleather jacket and have to do so many presentations about what that company's going to do to catch up with the friggin' industry in general. My name was Couch Coop. I look forward to seeing you down there. And I will leave you with the Aston. What was that?